Welcome to Becoming a Principal, the podcast for aspiring educational leaders. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Matt. Our mission is to inspire and support educators considering leadership roles so they can add value to the communities they serve.
Awesome. How you doing today?
Great. Jordan, yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Good day? Full day?
Full day. Here we go.
That's right. So
the next phase of our day.
That's right. So this is a pop-up episode.
I like that.
Right? A pop-up episode.
Yeah.
So, we didn't have this one fully planned out, but it's like a surprise Matt episode.
Here we go. I'm ready for it.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the general topic today is how to not dwell in despair or like the bad news of the day.
Oh, yeah. I like this. Yeah.
And how often do we encounter that?
We
bad
encounter
news.
a lot of news like that throughout the day.
That could derail us, right?
Yep.
So I pulled out a letter that I found in one of my professional development courses over the years, leadership development. And it was a letter from written by Clarissa Pinkola Estés, Ph.D. She wrote this letter to young activists during troubled times. It was after Columbine. And there's some I highlighted lots of stuff on here. That's back when I used to read a lot and highlight a lot of stuff. And there's some really great points, and I think they're very pertinent to some of the issues that we face today, especially as administrators. So the one part I want to just read, and I want to get your take on how this manifests in our day. It says, in any dark time, there's a tendency to veer toward fainting over how much is wrong or unmended in the world. Do not focus on that. There's a tendency, too, to fall into being weakened by perseverating on what is outside of your reach, by what cannot yet be. Do not focus there. So this is a message to people that are, young activists. How do you see that manifest in our role in terms of like what we can focus on and what we shouldn't be focusing on?
Oh, man, I need to read that article. That was the first thing I was thinking about. Because you know what I think I get stuck on sometimes is we're a school, and yes, we have resources available to us. And families and students think that whatever they need, they can come to the school and get it, right? To the point where some people wait a summer to go and get help from the school.
So true.
Right? Or a weekend. Things that should be taken care of over a weekend, they're waiting until Monday morning so they can go talk to a teacher or a social worker, a guidance counselor, or an administrator. So you're trying, you just want to be all things to all people, right? Especially as an administrator where you have different tools and you wear different hats. But, you just a lot of the time, I think you realize, you can't close the loop on everything because, it's just, you're not able to, and you don't have the tools and the resources, or there's just not enough time, or people aren't ready for that. So sometimes, it's so funny. This is such a relevant topic for what happened to me today, where I was talking to somebody else, just we're just not going to be able to close the loop on that. And everyone is satisfied right now, but our solution is more of a Band-Aid, and we're hoping it doesn't bring itself back up again, the situation that we were dealing with today. And, sometimes you can just dwell on that. But you also know there's another thing like cooking in the oven that you got to get to. And you don't have what you need for that either, right? And you're just kind of sometimes going from situation to situation and trying to deal with those as the best you can.
It's awesome. Yeah, there's so many situations where we encounter that thought where we can get kind of defeated by the problem of the day. And one of my notes that I wrote here in rebuttal to that was, don't dwell on the rhetoric of the day.
Yeah.
So to keep the primary focus, keep the main focus, and not to get derailed by the little or big hurdles that we encounter in a day, because that's not productive to our end goal, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to get kind of marred in all that, though, and get sucked into it. But like you said, we got to find a way to not let that happen to us, and be okay with some things undone, because that happens.
Yep.
You're not always going to tie a bow on something perfectly as much as we want to. I think the tendency is to want to. Well, and feel that we can, maybe we can't.
The other piece is and I think one of our mutual friends who's a principal somewhere, he would say when I was getting into this, you're going to have stuff that's unfinished, and that's fine because you can pick it up again tomorrow. Otherwise, you could be here all night, right? You could stay literally until your kids are already in bed every night, right? Working on different things, and it's just going to be okay to pick some things up again the next day. And I kind of like look at it as like a long game for a lot of the students that we deal with, because a lot of them need to build skill, and they're not going to build skill in one moment with them, right? And the more interactions you have, it's like, are you seeing a change in, their behavior or their attitude or how they're able to regulate themselves, like over time? Like, are we working up a hill and building skill together, or are we not? And I think that's like a better measure of how things are going. You look at the long game, not like, you can't just get stuck in the moment, because you're right. I think it's going to wear you down, and you're going to have a bad day every day when you go to work too, thinking that way. But the impact comes over time. Just like a teacher, you have touch points with students every day. You don't have the best lesson every single day. And maybe you like bombed a lesson that day, and that's okay, because you're going to have another touch point with those kids again tomorrow, and you're going to be able to check in and maybe make a correction to their learning, or like get them there the next day, or you might take a couple of days to do that. But over time and all those touch points, you're going to get them across the finish line to where they need to be. Same in administration. Like, we do see some students on one-offs, but a lot of our students we know, and like with all those touch points, are we making a difference in those kids' lives?
It's like, right? You're reading it. It's like you read this.
I have no idea. No.
Yeah, so the next part, I was going to just pile on to what you said there. This great little line here. It says, "It is not given to us to know which acts or by whom will cause the critical mass to tip toward an enduring good. What is needed for dramatic change is an accumulation of acts, adding to, adding more, continuing." So, yeah, we don't know, like, especially in education, nothing's ever finished. Nothing's ever finished.
Nothing, no.
Right? And we don't know sometimes till way later, and it's still not finished. Right? Like how a student turns out, or the impact that we had on a student, but we know that we need to keep contributing in some way and adding more to the positive good to make a change, right? So it's interesting, but I love the words in this. And then here's another one. This kind of goes into about how you kind of leadership in terms of like showing yourself in leadership. So I love this line. It says, "One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Souls on deck shines like gold in dark times." So what does that mean to you when you think about showing your soul or standing up when things are turbulent?
Yeah, I'm going to like take a Brene Brown line. It means like being in the arena, right? Like, are you showing up? Are you engaging? Are you there for those people? And are you like practicing your own skill, by the way, too, right? Because you're in the arena, like, you're not only trying to build skills with other people, but you're also becoming a better leader and adding on to how you're able to manage different situations, and you're able to change who you are. And it just makes me think, like, you just got to get out there and try it. Just do it.
I love that. And this article just keeps going. Right? It's like perfect segue to everything that you're saying here. Working out well. The next line I love that I wanted to share is, it says, "Struggling souls catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. If you would help to calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do." So standing up and showing who you are allows other people to do the same. Yeah. So it's like, as a leadership practice, there are times where you need to stand up and show what you stand for. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like, it happens every day in subtle things like we talk about in our leadership practices, but there are certain times where you do need to like take a stand in some way and show what your values are. I don't know if you've encountered that at all, but have you ever encountered it maybe from someone else? You're like, wow, like that person really went on a limb. Like, I respect that. Like, that makes me feel like I can do the same if I need to. Have you ever encountered that where you're like, wow, that person really stood up and showed me something? Yeah, and then absolutely. Be inspired by that. Yeah. Yeah.
Like to give a little bit of like a shout out. There was an EA who was really advocating for a student, and who was like, yeah, the student needs more in the classroom, and they need to feel like they belong. And they took a stand with the teacher and like wanted more from the teacher and wanted more for that student, and talking about inclusivity in the classroom. And I was like, wow, like, good for you to stand up in this meeting that we're having and really advocate for kids. And it came from a place of like what's best for the student. And it wasn't by any means like a negative against a teacher, but it was showing their cards and showing what their philosophy is, and they'll go to great lengths in order to do it.
Yeah, there's huge respect for that when I see that from other people, because it goes to show you that like you do need to advocate. That is a skill.
Yeah.
You need to advocate to advance a cause or to shine light on an issue that without that advocacy might not turn out to be anything or might not see the light of day. So that's a leadership quality to be able to do that and stand up for the rights of others or yourself, right, in your given context. So I love that. And then as it relates to kind of making change, times are inevitably going to get tough. It's going to be hard. So again, this is in the context written after Columbine for young people trying to grasping for positives in the world after that tragedy occurred. It's noted in here that like just because we want to turn a corner doesn't mean it's always going to be perfect either, right? So it says that there will always be times when you feel discouraged. I too have felt despair many times in my life, but I do not keep a chair for it. I will not entertain it. It is not allowed to eat from my plate. Love that line.
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you channel that? I think you do a good job of it, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just things aren't about you. You got to let things go. And it's just, I think the biggest thing is remaining positive, because what's the alternative? I don't think the alternative is very good. Right? Like it's for me, it's pretty simple.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is also, there's a balance too with like, toxic positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's part of it is being a realist, understanding that there are challenges. You're not ignoring that there are challenges or that the road might be hard, but being hopeful.
Yeah.
Like the hopeful that you can make a difference, or that you have a game plan that you're going to try that hopeful will make a difference, and you might reconvene later and go, that didn't work. But hopeful that the next game plan will win. And like this statement's kind of saying is keep adding to continuing the work to try and produce a positive outcome or a change, right? And that's not easy to do. The alternative is to just not do anything.
Yeah.
And where is that going to get you?
Yeah.
Not very far, right? So I love this. Maybe I'll just
thanks for sharing that.
I think I got to post this somewhere because it really is kind of a neat call to action and leadership in a sense that we can relate to.
You should put it in the show notes.
We'll put it in the show notes. Yeah, I love that.
I got to look at it.
Yeah, I love that. So why don't I end with one of the quotes I like most? Okay. Actually, it's the opening statement. It says, "Do not lose heart. We are made for these times. I've heard from so many recently who are deeply and properly bewildered. Just do not lose hope." That's it.
That's well said.
Don't lose hope.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to Becoming a Principal podcast. We're grateful that, again, you spent some time with us today, and we hope we've been helpful in some way. Be sure to check out our Instagram at Becoming a Principal podcast. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Have a good night. See ya.